Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the August 20th, 2024 board meeting of the McLeod County Board of Commissioners. Can we please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Do we have any additions or corrections to today's agenda?
No changes, Mr. Chair.
Looking for a motion to approve. We have a motion by Kruger, second by Schmaltz to approve today's agenda items. Or any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda.
No changes.
Move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion by Nagle, second by to approve today's consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll put a hold on item number 4. We'll into item number 5, emergency management. Thoughts, our emergency manager.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So it's kind of a brief update of what's going on with our spring flooding. If you went by and you looked at some of our rivers, you'll see that they're still pretty full. So it wouldn't take much to put them back over the banks again. I went down to Mankato and kind of got a chance to assess some of the damage that they had down there. Obviously, with some of the rains that we had, southern Minnesota really got nailed bad. I went to Herta last night and kind of looked at their town. The water's finally receded, and they're in the process of kind of putting everything. We got very, very lucky because we missed a couple of the rains that came through. Otherwise, I think we would have had a lot more issues with washouts and other. So we're in the process right now of getting the final tally for all the townships and all the cities. The biggest one that got hit was Round Grove with a lot of washouts, and then also some of the ditches that were through that area. And then Glencoe had almost $60,000 worth of damage. FEMA came out and did an assessment and found that we did not reach the threshold of $160,000 in our area, which is, I guess, good news. The bad news then is that we don't qualify for federal funds, but on the good news part of it, we do qualify for state funds. So the next process, and I'll be sending a the Department of Public Safety, Emergency Management, and then requesting that and do an assessment on the state level that, so we can get reimbursed. And then surely it's not going to make that much difference because the reimbursement at the federal level is at 70%, and then the state level is still at 70%. So that's not going to really hurt us one way or another. So we're going to move, and I just want a kind of quick update. Is there any questions that the board would have?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I do. Any idea how many crops, how many acres of crop?
I know that Ag has been out there and assessing that. That's totally separate than what we're looking at here, but they have been working and trying to get some numbers on that, but I have not received those yet.
And in case I don't mean I'm not picking on you,
Oh, yeah.
but I did it to point out that this is an ag county and count against
Right.
acreages to me is asinine, but that's just me. But I know there's a lot of crop loss.
Absolutely. You go around, there's a lot of fields that are blank out there, and that's really a bad thing.
And it's sad to me that even on the pay that they don't accumulate data for these, an impact someday changing programs. I know there's no crop, I know all that stuff, but the costs that are high. Human damage and stuff are I call them a handout, but they're a lot more helpful to people that got hurt.
Absolutely.
So thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Got to hit the ground on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for your work. I can chime in on the impact agriculture a little bit as a farmer. You know, right now the commodity crops are extremely low, and they say because the nation's crop is so well, except for here. A lot of, I guess somebody's got to take their turn, but I know that the past several years of building our county ditch system and doing a lot of repair work on those is coming in very handy this year to be able to remove the excess water from our countryside. But yeah, a lot of work there to to collect all that data, so thanks for that.
Good. The thing is that this is probably a once-in-a-lifetime type flood issue that came through, so hopefully we'll never have to deal with this again, but we are looking at some more mitigation or plans for that, so we can hopefully head off in the future. But some of them, there's nothing, we can't plan for it. So we're doing what we can.
Very good. Any questions for Casey at all? All right. Thank you for your report this morning. We'll then move on to the jail. Will Feltman, jail captain.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am here this morning to seek approval for a renewal of our contract for the medical for the jail with Advanced Correctional Healthcare. The renewal will now include jail nursing. The county has utilized public health for a fair number of years. We've had discussions between the sheriff, myself, Health and Human Services Director. Moving forward, shifting everything to Advanced Correctional Health makes a lot of sense for both departments at this time. Financially, with the increased provider hours, it'll probably be about a wash. Just money coming from different budgets across the county board. It'll be about even. I think it's going to streamline things. Doesn't mean that we're going to end our relationship with public health. We're still going to use them for a whole variety of things. They were great with the pandemic, investigations, all that. So that will continue. It's just actual day-to-day operations will be with correctional health.
Okay, any questions at all for Will? So we will look. Oh,
Was this an outside cost before? Did I?
So before, currently right now, contract with professional health for its medical direction. They provide actual doctor, but the nursing is through public health. The jail pays public health for those nursing hours. If that answers the question, this will all be, now those funds will be redirected to Advanced Correctional Health. It'll be about a wash. Not sure if that answers your question or not.
So actually, Commissioner, it's been a mix. And now it will be shifted over to being provided solely by them.
Mr. Chair.
go ahead.
So we have been using them. It's not new.
Thanks, Will. I just would, I'd just add to it, mental health is a mess, and we're doing, I thank you guys for the checking that you're using as much of not adequate amount of funding in the first place and trying to make it go around. So with that, I'll move to approve.
We have a motion by Kruger and a second by Luthens to consider approving renewal option number 2 of the jail's medical contract with Advanced Correctional Healthcare. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will.
We'll now call on Liz Danielson, our Economic Development Coordinator, with our community spotlight this morning.
Morning. I'm here today with McLeod County Community Spotlight feature, and I've asked Corey Stearns to join us this morning to share about Stearns Inc., which has been owned and operated by the Stearns family in Hutchinson since 1892. If there aren't any questions from the board, I'll turn it over to Corey. Corey's going to sit up here front row. Right.
I have some handouts for though.
you. Morning.
Morning, Corey.
All right. Here we go. Yeah, you have to stand at your trick so you don't get too long.
All right. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's loud. My name is Corey Stearns of Stearns Wood Incorporated of Hutchinson, Minnesota. I'd like to thank Liz Danielson for inviting me, reaching out to me for being your community spotlight program. I'd also like to thank commissioners for the invite. Thank you very much. Never been here. Especially Commissioner Nagel for the recommendation. I've known you a long time, Joe, and I'm sure I've never called you commissioner. I've called you a lot of other things, but never commissioner. Thank you, Joe. I'm the fourth generation of the Stearns family and the fifth president of Stearns Wood Incorporated. Now the fifth generation is run the show, and with my Mark Stearns at the helm. From its earliest beginnings, Stearns Wood has been committed to provide the best product and services to its customers. From its early beginnings, Stearns Wood is, in 1892, E.J. Stearns, my great-great-grandfather, purchased the business property, the Stillwater Lumber Company in Hutchinson, Minnesota, and Stearns Lumber Company began its long-standing tradition of excellence. The company itself has evolved as it has adapted to the changes in the lumber industry and building market. From a small lumber yard that consisted of a simple shed and a few scrawny piles of lumber, it became a full-service lumber yard with manufacturing operations to build cabinets, windows, boats, vacation homes, and more. During the 20s and 30s, lumber yards and surrounding communities just until the line consisted of 13 lumber yards at one time. We're kind of like the depot of the 20s and 30s. First of these, Buffalo Lake was acquired in 1897. Within 10 years, the yards at Hector, Young America, and Plato were purchased. Businesses at Silver Lake, Stewart, New Jersey, and St. Boniface were acquired also before 1920. And later lumber yards were opened in Cosmos, Lake Lillian, Corvuso, Blomkest, and Giddon. In 1959, well, those all got sold off in the 50s, all those lumber yards, because Stearns Wood was growing, Hutchinson was growing, so we moved all our operations to Hutchinson. In 1959, the Stearns Lumber Company changed its name to Stearns Wood to reflect the change in business emphasis and moved it to its current location at 3rd Avenue northwest of Hutchinson. 2/3 of the location was taken up by the retail building division, while the balance was used by the small but growing manufacturing division that built pallets, boxes, and affiliated packaging. The retail and modular home, yes, we had built mini mods. A few Hutchinson Valley View apartments, our company built those apartments, and right after we got bankrupt because we didn't make any money. But the retail and modular home division were sold in 1972, and Stearns Wood began concentrating on the business of designing and manufacturing wooden shipping containers and related packaging materials. In 1982, my brother Roger became the fourth president of the family business and added Minnesota's first heavy-duty triple-wall corrugated fiberboard converting operation to Stearns Wood production abilities. That ability is to custom build corrugated containers under the strict quality standards to particular specifications, often requiring custom cushioning, foams, fiberboards, specialized hardware, and wooden Places are blocking all design, transport, packaging safely. President in 2000, when Roger retired, my objective was to update and modernize their equipment and facilities, to update the corrugated division, mill and box maker, and printers capable of printing corrugated sheets for up to 110 inches wide and up to 250 inches long, with an increase of printable area of 110 wide and 110 in length. According to the maker of the machine, it was the first of its kind in the nation. So if you take 110 by 110 on one side, that's 9 feet. We could print a logo 9 feet by 9 feet if you wanted us to on a box. That's a big box. The company now is known for its design and manufacturing custom, heavy-duty, high-performance transfer packaging and wooden triple corrugated cardboard. Our customers come to us by word of mouth and are drawn by our reputation. We have no sales staff. No sales staff at all. Our name and address are every box that we make. We get calls out of the blue from all over the nation. Everything we make is custom made for customer specifications and expectations. Currently, we have 24 employees, but at one point we had over 70 employees in our Hutchinson plant and Silver Lake plant, where we made wooden containers that Stearns Wood constructed during the Gulf War to carry Honeywell's 12 millimeter shells for the Abrams M1 tank. And we made hundreds of thousands of those boxes. They got filled with one shell each, and the military buried them in the sand in the Gulf War. They used our wooden boxes for many years, but with military intelligence, they still do a metal box and buried the metal cylinders in the sand and found out when they get hot, they blew up. So they tried to come back to us to get more wooden boxes, and we said, no, you made a foolish decision. Thank you very much. With a varied customer base Stearns Wood serves, the company's products have been shipped to every continent, including Antarctica, which is something that most companies can't say, that they ship to every continent. Most of our customers are based in the metro area, but we serve a large customer base around the country as well. We even made special boxes for the shipments of the parachutes for the lander for the project for NASA. We made shipping containers for everything from live cattle to computers to weapons, watermelons. Currently, we've added a new building to enhance our production capabilities with the addition of more working room and a robotic nailing system, which I gave you guys a picture of, that can produce faster and more efficient product. We also added a new Homog panel saw to help on the wood side of the business to speed up panel cutting processes. With that Homog saw, we can cut up 4 3/4-inch pieces of wood at one time, so almost 3.5 inches thick. Stearns Wood is endured because of opportunity, hard work, and innovation. We believe that Stearns Wood is one of the oldest family companies in Minnesota that has stayed in its original community for over 132 years. Over those years, the focus has changed a few times, but the quality and customer service continues to be the forefront and the cornerstone of the family business. Stearns Wood has been honored multiple times by the Twin Cities Chamber program called the Keystone Award by giving back at least 2 to 5% of the company's gross profits to the community every year. Stearns was also nominated in the 2015 in the Twin Cities Business Magazine with their Family Business Award, which we gladly Thank you very much, Twin Cities Magazine. I also believe in giving back to the community and surrounding area by giving back through the Stearns Foundation. The foundation started in the 80s with the intention of keeping grants local and do what good we can in the community. The foundation has supported law enforcement, IDS 423, Hutchinson Center for the Arts, Dollars for Scholars program in Hutchinson, the JC Water Carnival, River Song, and many, many other programs in our community. The Stearns family played a vital role in the growth of Hutchinson and the surrounding area for 132 years and promises to continue that in the future as well. Thank you for the invite, sir. Thank you. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I'll ask you as well. And this is why we need a spotlight, so that you nuggets in our community have the chance to grab the microphone. People can hear the story. Your family's dedication or community, all these years and making sure that those employees have jobs, your activities with your foundation. It's just outstanding. And thank you so much for coming here this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
I just say the same thing. I'll just echo what he said. I knew Roger and I worked with him years ago, and I realized you all did, but I didn't know the history. So
Yeah,
thanks for your hard work.
it's a long history of building community and building business and building customers, keeping those customers. We've been very, very lucky.
Question, Cedar Mill, taking the lumber yard, were you ever part of that?
Oh, that was way before my time. Yeah, all those lumberyards got sold off in the 40s, 50s. My great-grandfather and grandfather bought up all those lumberyards back in the 20s and the 30s. Ran them for a while until they closed or shut down. But as Hutchinson growing and becoming a larger community, we kind of concentrated all the things that we had at the other lumberyards into Hutchinson's lumberyard, because it was a big lumberyard at one time.
A lot of buildings got put up in McLeod County.
A lot of buildings, yeah, they certainly did. And we did a lot more other buildings that people don't know about, that when we had the mini-mod building, you know where the utilities building is in Hutchinson, the main utilities thing, we put that to build the mini-mods.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah, we've put up a lot of buildings in
Chair, and Mr. Stearns, thank you for the contribution you made to the community and to McLeod County. I congratulate you and your family for your longevity and wish you much success in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Corey, thanks for coming. Thanks for being it. You have called me other things. But just to clear it out, we're very good friends, and I appreciate that friendship. So thank you for coming. So,
Thanks, Joe.
but one other thing, we get stuck with a picture of the board here, but we got to organize.
All right. Stay around.
We can do it now, but just so don't run away.
We're going to come down according on this one.
You got it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
There or where?
Just right where they are.
Where you went in the middle, we'll just kind of surrender on that.
All right, I'll take a couple here. This one's going to be this direction. 1, 2, 3. And I'll take one in this direction as well. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
the fantastic presentation. Thank you again, Corey, from Stearns. We'll now move on to Public Works. Andrew Engel.
Item A, please consider awarding CP 24-00001, the 2020 countywide pavement markings project to serve LLC of Edina, Minnesota, at a cost of $289,001.69 with funds in the highway construction budget. There were no other bids received for this project, and the engineer's estimate was $104,028.26.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Thanks for your work on this, but I can't in good conscience even consider of that high for the engineer's estimate. I mean, I don't know what's wrong. I know it's a bigger problem than yours or than ours, that only one company can bid, but this, you don't need commissioners if you approve a bid that's twice as the engineer's report. We're going to have to do something, do it, send it out for bids, change in it. But I can't in my county go along with things like that. And it's your fault, Andrew, so don't take it personally.
Yep. So we are in a position where we do need to drape a very significant portion of the county this year. If you drive around, we do have quite a few roads that do not. I mean, the pavement markings are wore out and in tough shape, and they need to be.
And I totally agree, but people are going to have to wake up. I don't know who's going to have to wake up, but and when you say we have to because of maintenance, we're getting behind in maintenance. But I mean, if we're able to float these through the budgets, then our budgets are inflated. I mean, it's twice high. It's just short of being double.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chair. Go ahead. I disagree with what Doug said, but do we know why we missed? Just,
You know, it's a combination of a number of things. Pavement markings have been hard to put your thumb on the last couple of years. We've had a number of contractors get bought out. We're down to less than 3 contractors in the state do it. The materials for pavement markings have fluctuated by so much the last couple of years. 2 years ago, we had a shortage and we couldn't paint, even if you wanted to do it. So that price has kind of been hard to put a thumb on. And part is due to the later portion of the season, where it did eliminate probably one bidder from bidding on this.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
in our yearly road trips, when we talk about them, has this been talked about a lot here? Planning ahead for it, instead of at the last minute, we got to do it, or otherwise, is it on the agenda?
Mr. Chair, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but Andrew's done his due diligence. I'm not, there's a system here that's broke, whether it's in the state, nation, wherever, it's broke. I mean, I could have a conversation about these high bids if there was 2 or 3 bids. We're all, if there was a margin that the cost went up, I mean, that's a reaction here. I'm picking those guy. And I think this markings. Like I said, I don't want to put words in Commissioner's mouth, but you have brought this up. I talked about the markings before. I think our transportation has done a job on picking up what's going to. You reach a plateau, in my opinion, where again, it's double. Percentages. It's double. And as soon as I seen it, I was shocked. I'm sorry. It's not only in the transportation business; it's across the board. All these people are running into double the costs. Well, somehow we have to wake up. And that's just my opinion on where I have to draw the line somewhere. I don't know where I'm sending it back for finding more bids. I don't know.
Did we do striping last year?
Yes, we did.
We did?
Yep.
So it's a yearly
Yep,
thing?
annually. We have roads on a cycle. Depending on the traffic volume, we might do edge line and stuff every year. We might do edge line 1 year, center line the next year.
So-
It's a cycle.
Can you not put this bid out way ahead of time, so you know what you're doing?
Yes, we could. With what we've had for staffing and for construction workload this year, this was probably one of the more minor projects. So
Minor?
Minor as far as criticality for bids. So was prioritized lower on the priority list to get out for bids.
I just want to point out, however, with what he's saying, that it was done timely. There's a you can't do all of the things at the same time, and you've seen the $1 million plus projects that have gone through his office, and I make sure that that's understood, that this isn't at Andrew's, there's no misstep in your department.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Andrew, if let's say we reject all the bids, can we call bids once again? I know we're getting to the end of the season here. What do you think the chances of that may be?
Depending on how we scale the project back and how much time it takes us to scale the plans back, it'd be tight to get the pavement markings done this year.
Mr. Chair?
Really all depends on what we get for weather in the fall.
Mr. Chair, I would agree it's going to be tough to get it in there, but that, to me, it's apples and oranges because of the price. But I do want to make or ask a question. There's no changes in these. I mean, he marked past on County Road. I live on County Road 2. So they remarked them, but that was a whole process. So there was an efficiency part of that by grinding first and laying the stripe down. Now in this case, it's not. It's just restriping.
Yep.
Is that right? And that's
Correct.
where, I mean, maybe we have to back off. And in fairness, I call that a compromise. But I mean, we're just doing the same thing at, in my opinion, a very high inflated price. And I'm sure in the technology of buying paint and the machine itself, it's quite. I made the comment this week, where are all the entrepreneurs? If I'd have been 30 years old, I don't look at a striping truck. Mm-hmm. And all I'd have to hook is a couple, 3 jobs, and that's me off the cuff. I don't know what their costs are. I'm sure it's about other things.
Yep.
No, again, I'm going to repeat it. Our administrators, I'm not picking at the. I mean, it's one that should be easier than it is, but that's all I can say.
Andrew, what is the downside to not do the striping this fall?
The downside to not doing striping is we have some roads that have very aged markings that are almost not visible. It becomes a potential safety issue, whereas people cannot see the markings, and we open ourselves up to having potential crashes.
Mr. Chair, we do straighten ourselves? Nothing?
Not that kind of thing.
No.
Again, but I'm probably talking too much, but my thought in listening to our conversation is then maybe we should take that inflated extra 100,000 and put in a marking that is grinding it down. How does it compare? I mean, obviously, it's a lot of money.
About 8 or 9 times the cost, and you get about 5 times the life of it. Ground-in markings that we did earlier this year, that was under a federal highway safety improvement grant. That was a 90-10 split with the federal government. And those were also enhanced markings. They were wet reflective markings, so they have better reflective capabilities when the pavement's wet.
Mr. Chair?
And again, as far as the average person looks at it, I mean, there's nothing wrong with markings that were on it. This was just through a grant, and maybe that's my point is maybe the feds or the state has to, if this is what the standards are, we have to do something about competition or paying for this. I mean, I could see spending some money. It's an update. I mean, I don't have a calculator in front of me, so with the figures you gave me, I don't know how that comes out at the very end. But I give my thoughts.
Mr. Chair, it's difficult to hear some of you today. I'm just asking if everyone could be closer to their microphone and get messages. Thank you.
Andrew, quick question on the timing of contract. Is this something that we could pick up on our next board meeting after budget committee review with you, or do we need to see this today?
Next budget meeting is third, or next meeting.
Next board meeting, third.
We probably make that work.
Okay.
Here,
Is that an issue?
in fairness to time, it's gonna be hard for me to change my opinion. I'm on budget, so, and I'm not putting words in anybody. This is I weigh this out on myself, because there's a problem. It's not just here, it's in a lot of places with our funding. And we, at least in my thought, have to investigate this or prove to the taxpayer, because I mean, at the end of the day, this cost gets put to the property taxes, and I mean, that's where our money comes from, other than other things, transportation. There's no, I take it, there's no grant here. I mean, we're just talking straight budget money.
Yep, these are maintenance monies.
So I mean, and I'm fine taking it to budgets, but just because we have them, we have to spend the money.
Here,
Go ahead.
how much do we have budgeted for this? Is it the 144,000? We're asking for another 140,000 on top of it? What's the budget?
That'd be correct. Each year, Public Works is going to budget so much for new roads, repairs, striping, so that we keep up. And I guess if you skip a year, then it just puts much more expense on the next. Sending it back to Budget Committee at least give us a chance to review. Does this have an impact on any other dollars? We do always have to maintain balance within our highway budget, because highway projects can run over budget. And so we have to make sure there is extra funding available when need to be. But having that discussion with budget is the best way to move forward. Measure the impact if we did not do this year, because of the concerns that we're hearing. What would that put on next year? If it just means that it's going to be funds at the same climate next year, then those are just questions that we have to ask ourselves. So,
Mr. Chair, I'm with all that, but remember the concerns that Andrew brought up, the investment that we maybe need to make. But yes, this price got much higher than anticipated, so I would move the table until September 3rd.
with the tables,
Second.
With the, excuse me, Mr. Chair, that's reviewed by the budget.
you're fine with that. Okay. There's no discussion on a motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll see this item on our September 3rd board meeting.
Mr. Chair, I know there's no discussion on that motion, but I would like to make a reminder that we have safety concerns are in my mind right to the top, but we also have a number of quite a constituents in different areas in our county that people that have called, and we've looked at some roads that are safety concerns in themselves, that they're in bad shape. So I just remind everyone that we need to prioritize. Sometimes that's hard to do and tough to, but that's just a reminder that, we've been trying to search for money in order to start some other projects, and I don't know. I feel bad for Andrew, because I know you're working hard to do this, so I just want to make sure I emphasize that, just because sometimes things are just tough.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Luzens?
Andrew, are we going to be okay with the roundabout in Jefferson, or are there going to be outside change orders coming with that too?
There are change orders associated with that project that will be to the board here.
That's in the budget?
Yep.
More problems.
Okay, we have budget committee for. Let's visit about within our timeline for our next meeting. Go ahead with your IB.
Item B, consider order for commercial door systems for the McLeod Area Transportation Facility Service Facility project at cost $1,209 from the project budget. Change order which keyed a key door to a punch code set as back of the card reader to the building in the event that we have a power outage and our maintenance Crews need to get out onto the road to snow out, take care of trees, whatever. This makes it a lot simpler for them as access rather than having keys floating around.
Sure.
Go ahead.
We had this discussion, and it's just smart, a good thing to do. So with that, I'm making a motion to approve.
And second.
We have a motion by Kruger and a second by Schmaltz to consider approving the change order from Commercial Door Systems for the Glencoe Area Transportation Facility. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrew, Mr. Chair, before you leave, can you give us, I'm getting a few calls just the last couple of days on Hennepin. In fact, somebody wants to meet right after the meeting on, is there any updates, or where are we at on Hennepin?
Working through the preliminary design and feasibility study has been completed. The city and the county are working final joint powers agreement. You'll see at the next board for cost share and project share of these, and also working through a final design agreement with SEH to complete the final design plans and specs on the project.
Okay, that's the call. The calls is on the design plan. I mean, we had a workshop on this, and I don't know what we discussed in a meeting, but we're trying to keep ourselves to the road and not to the other things in there. But the only thing I can see that we have to work with, is that end on 16th Street or whatever, how we're gonna make that job.
Yep.
So that's still open, and that
Yep.
will come to us with your design, with the plans?
Yep.
Because I think you showed us 3 or 4 different designs. Are they still all in play, or they got it whittled down, or?
We're still working the options. There's a bunch of pieces that we're still working.
Thank you.
Andrew, before you go, can you kind of up a little completion of the kind of drive extension? I have to take a call on that, and I think people are getting a bit anxious on whether it will be completed.
Yep. So right now, the extension part of the project has been completed. Working on final turf establishment on County Road 9. The turn lane and bypass lane have been installed. And right now, the contractor is working on reconstructing the existing 2 blocks of County Road 5 that was stubbed in a number of years ago, getting that ready for concrete pavement. That project has an October completion date on it.
Do you anticipate us making a completion date?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Andrew? Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
We auditor's office. What's that? Okay, we'll ask our administrator to cover that.
Thank you. Item A, consider approving the joint powers agreement between the state of Minnesota and McLeod County effective September 30, 2024, expiring December 31st, 2024, or until all obligations have been satisfactorily fulfilled to act as the recount official designated by the Office of the Secretary of State.
Questions? Anyone?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Nagel second to consider approving the joint powers agreement between the state of Minnesota and McLeod County. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, consider approving and authorizing the Auditor Treasurer Connie M. Kurtzwell to act on behalf of McLeod County and the recount official within the joint powers agreement.
Motion by Nagel, by Luthens to consider approving and authorizing Auditor Treasurer to act on behalf of McLeod as the recount official. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, consider approving the findings and order initiating the redetermination of benefits on County Ditch 3.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
this is in the district I represent, and I'm in favor of it. I just want to make sure, do we need to name the viewers in the motion? Let's ring a bell.
Yes,
Yes.
do it.
Yep.
Okay.
Or I'll make two motions, it's easier to do it all in one.
Yeah, so Sheila, if you don't mind, just
Sure.
jump to that bottom paragraph and list those names up, please.
The findings are initiating the redetermination of benefits on County Ditch 3 does name Scott Henderson, Ken DeGear, and Larry Murphy, two overviewers. The named viewers have previously worked on previous redeterminations in McLeod County.
Mr. Chair, with that, I would move to approve.
A motion by Nagel and a second by Kruger to approve the findings and order initiating determination of benefits on County Ditch Number 3, noting that the Drainage Authority has deemed the original benefits or damages do not reflect reasonable present day values. Any further discussion? Seeing none, proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now moving on to county administration, we'll review our calendars. We were just here 7 days ago, so there might not be a lot of things to report on. Commissioner Nagel?
Yes, I don't have much to report from when we were here, but the county fair was this past weekend, and thank you to all who exhibit and put effort into making that a success, and we call it a success again this year.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That kind of wraps up kind of how I'll enter into my reports as well, without any extra meetings. It was about the county fair, as our family exhibits cattle, and we're there all hours of the fair, and I just have to admire how people by the thousands came out. It would be interesting to hear numbers of attendance, but we're full. And in the middle of the fair, one of the board members caught me street and commented, "Isn't this great? Isn't this great? Look at all these people." And he said, "I continue to remind everyone to make sure that the county commissioners, because they're the ones that make this open gate fair possible." They're shocked for just a second. Yes, we did, but we got there with a lot of great staff input and community input as to where to put those federal dollars to be able to make that possible, and it worked. It absolutely worked, and it was the right thing to do. So, success story just continues on throughout the years to see people come out and enjoy that fairgrounds, which is such a gemstone of the Midwest. I start all of my state fair activities with Rachel. We'll be leaving early in the morning with a fine group of kids and their cattle and their pitchforks and everything else that take to be exhibitors down there, and finish out tomorrow evening at the Princess K coronation, where McLeod County has two young ladies that will be the butterheads for this year's state fair, and one of my daughter, so it'll be fun. So we'll go from there. Thank you.
What do you do with all that butter?
I don't know.
Thanks. One of the reasons we didn't have a meeting last week, but things are moving along for me as well, so I'll back up just a little bit. There isn't much for me to report, but my last couple of weeks have been mostly in drainage or drainage issues. The drainage work group been active, getting settled up started up for this fall or session. I've had agenda reviews. I've worked with the personnel committee. I've also had, which is water-related, Lower Minnesota, one watershed, one plan, along with an HRA meeting. I couldn't make the fair this year. I'm just glad to hear the good reports. My family did go and sent me pictures. I'm just really glad that that people are utilizing our fantastic fairground. I hope it continues to work as well as it's going. So we haven't been tested too much by the weather, other than some heat. So and then I also was very disappointed that I missed the 212 ground break. Did anyone here make it on the boat? Okay, I hope that you report, go by it. My wife's in the U, so First Minnesota Hospital has been traveling back and forth, and they're tearing up. I mean, Andrew, did you do the open house yet? But they're tearing it up. It doesn't take long to move a bunch of dirt, so it's good to.
That happened on the trucks there.
Okay. It's good to see. I mean, we talked before about safety and our area to have safe transportation in and out of the metro area, and that's going to be a lot of help to our business and to our constituents. So I really regretted missing those, but thanks.
Thanks, Commissioner Kruger. I'm going to back up a little bit too, being I was on vacation last week and could not attend. On August 1st, I attended the Prime West Joint Powers Board meeting in Alexandria. I do want to reference a couple of things that we spent quite a bit of time on discussion. One of them was, and I'll say possible because it's still being investigated, possible fraudulent activity where a northern county had some Prime members riding to the metro area for treatment. The problem with that is the metro area is a longer distance. These treatments could have been taken care of either at a St. Cloud or Brainerd facility. So I bring this up knowing that, you know, we all should be vigilant some expenditures that are made, not just with Prime West, but McLeod County as well. So again, I'm saying possible. They're working on it. They're looking at a recovery if that's going to be possible, and making sure that these are legitimate expenses that Prime West is obligated to pay out. The second topic I want to bring up, last year, Prime West, I think, spent about $6 million on a Reinvest in Minnesota program. They had a profitable year last year. The income on their investment has been greatly increased over the last few years. So this was a way that they put money back into our member counties. McLeod County was one of those counties that received grant money. The discussion point was their numbers are a little softer this year due to the unrounding of MA and Minnesota Care qualifications. During the pandemic, people did not review eligibilities on that group of individuals. Now that we're kind of catching up with the unwinding, they call it, of these eligibilities, their membership units are down slightly because of people, you know, not continuing to qualify for programs. So at this time, I think most of the member counties were supportive of a wait and see attitude before we start obligating ourselves to, you know, another Reinvest program at this time. So it's being looked at. It's no, but for now it's on. And be prudent to see where our finances are sitting here when we have a few more months behind us. And then Monday the 5th, I did a Sharing Hands Nurse Family Partnership Powers Board meeting. That meeting was held in Olivia. I would say that was business as usual. And that really brings me to today. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll go back to the 13th with the county workshop, 14th, pack for families. And the whole week was a fair for that, going into the 19th and 20th. So workshop today, and I mean, I'd just like to bring to everybody's attention that the wall for healing will be coming in on the 22nd. Thursday, here, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it will be done at on by the elevator, by Warrior, the open field there. It had been planned to have the dinner on Sunday. Thank you for do that at the but decided, David Stu decided not to do it. 80 of the, going to be about 80 motorcycle people coming in, and they decided not, that they weren't going to eat. So they're going to move it back down to the VFW, so it's less catering, less money. So we're inviting everybody to come and take a look at it. It's a big wall for heels. Thank you.
Commissioner Luthens, thank you for bringing up the wall of healing. That's a very important announcement to make sure that we got into today's meeting, so thanks for that. Anything from Mitch's office?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know last week we scheduled a special meeting, and it's in my office cover that because the meeting conflicted with our court calendar. I was in a week-long jury trial, a criminal sexual conduct case involving a child victim. So that finally yesterday late afternoon. The defendant was found guilty of 2 counts, so their sentence at a few months out. The presumptive prison sentence in that case will be 90 months. So I was able to attend the fair on Saturday and Sunday outside of court. I also had a fair booth. We're across from the sheriff's office as well as Veteran Services, and I would just echo, it seemed like turnout was great, not only in visitors by my office, but Veteran Services had a lot of visitors, seemed to be a lot of interest there, and Sheriff's Office as well. So I think that was another great weekend. We were happy to stop by, and we're all leaving.
Okay. Administration.
Thank you. Item A, notification of board workshop following the board meeting on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024, at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our agenda. Do we have anything for open forum or press release for the board day? Good. Okay. Seeing that we have nothing there, we'll move on to a recess. So looking for a motion to recess.
I so move.
Second.
We have a Luthen, the second by Schmal. That's until our next court county meeting, 9 a.m. Tuesday, September 3rd, here at the McLeod County Government Center. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We'll break for a couple minutes and begin our workshop items.